Hey, hello. Welcome to episode number 39 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choit. What's up? This week's something that I love is cats. Not the play, actual cats. I'm speaking generally here, but they are good pets. They poop and pee in one place, and they are not typically as annoying and in your face as some other popular pet I won't name. So yeah, for everything about this show, check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. Everything you need is there: social media, episode archive, links to listening options. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com, and the Instagram handle is peoplewelovepodcast. And remember to tap subscribe or follow on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And of course, 5-star positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated as well. So, today's guest is actor and Upright Citizens Brigade improviser Tony Garbanzos. He tells me all about growing up in San Diego, California, and pretending to be a Power Ranger as a kid, and then later diving into acting classes at community college, and then later joining up with the all-Asian American male comedy group Miss Golightly. Life has been a journey for Tony, but there's no doubt that performing and being creative has always been a big part of who he is. I mean, for one thing, Tony didn't last particularly long as an electrical engineering major. He's played the saxophone, drums, lacrosse, discovered UCB, and now he's on my podcast. So let's just get started. Here's Tony Garbanzos. Good to see you today, Tony Garbanzos.
Thanks, Adam.
Did I say that right?
You did, yeah.
Gotcha.
Perfectly.
How do people say it incorrectly? What do you hear?
It's usually Garbanzo. Like they somehow forget the S.
Is that like a French thing or what culture?
I truly don't know. I'm Filipino. I don't know how some family in the Philippines came up with the last name Garbanzos. It's not Filipino.
Well, so I think it's Spanish influence.
I'm sure it's from the Spanish influence. I don't think it's a Spanish word.
I think it is.
It is?
Doesn't it mean bean? No, not beans. It means
it's a name of a bean, but like I don't think it means specifically. Like I don't think it translates to bean or whatever. You know, I know it's a specific bean.
You've never looked up what your last name means?
Yeah, that's fair. I've never.
Should we look it up right now?
We should. Yeah, you know what?
We can always.
I need to settle this.
We can always erase this, cut this, edit this. If this is not.
I mean, we could keep it in.
I mean, I'm mildly curious at this point.
I have to know. You know, after almost 32 years.
It just means chickpea. I don't know.
Like I know, yeah. Like that's the alias of this bean is a chickpea, but I don't think it translates anything in Spanish.
The English name Garbanzo comes from the French.
Oh shit.
Quiche. I don't know which one's the Latin. Because are beans. I guess it's from. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. How's your day going?
It's all right. Yeah, it's been a long day of work for me, but it's good.
Yeah, take a breath. Take a breath. I'm gonna tell myself to take a breath too.
Yeah, that's calming and it's centering. Yeah,
I hear you. So why don't we get into it? Why don't you tell me where you grew up and your life story? Start from birth, start from leaving the hospital, start from your very first memory, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'll kind of let you decide where to start.
All right. Yeah, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, actually.
But you don't remember it. I did research a minute before you came into the studio.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of irrelevant in my life. It was just a city. And then 2.5 years later, I moved out, so I have zero memory. Apparently I liked the snow. I don't know that. I have no memories of snow in Kansas City. But anyway, we moved out to Southern California. We moved specifically to Riverside. Then my parents gave birth to my younger brother. So I was 3, he was 0. And then after a few years, we moved to San Diego, and that's where I grew up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and it's just you, your parents, and your brother, and that's your family.
Yeah, that's us.
And you grew up in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So that must have been pretty, I guess, awesome.
Yeah.
With its, I mean, 73 and sunny every day.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I was weirdly adverse to the warmth and the sun, but yeah, it was. You know, looking back, oh, so great. Sunny all day, every day, most days. Yeah.
Did you ever wish it wasn't sunny? Do you ever wish for snow or rain or something?
Kind of,
something
yeah.
else?
Yeah. Like, especially in high school, I was introduced to snowboarding and loved it. Oh, man, I loved it so much. So every winter I would go for a weekend or two to maybe like Big Bear or something. And yeah, I just loved covering up layers, just in general, you can...
Something different for you.
Something different.
New,
it was something new and different. The sport itself was super fun. But yeah, generally just like the weather, I love just putting on clothes to stay warm. If I get a little bit warmer, if it's getting hot for me, then I can take layers off.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Or no, I always say the reverse, actually. You can always put more layers on.
Yeah, if you're cold.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is
and then from there, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's hot already right now, I can't.
You're always going to be hot.
I'm always going to be hot. And just for my own personal sake, I don't like being shirtless. I'm not going to walk around town being shirtless.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
We'll build up to it. We'll see. You're going to leave this place shirtless.
You're right. We'll see how this next couple hours go.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see what I got to drink here. No, so why don't we go back a little bit? What about growing up when you were even like 4, 5, 6 years old? What are your memories from then? What did you do for fun?
It was the 90s. So TV obviously is most people's experience.
You already were watching hardcore TV, remember, at 4, 5, 6 years old?
I think so. I think Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came out around that time.
Yeah.
So I was really into that. My friends and I were really into it. Yeah. So like, after school, we'd watch the show, and then we would play make believe. After that, outside in the yard, running around pretending we're Power Rangers or we're superheroes or whatever. Fake karateing around and just running up and down the street.
See, I've talked to a bunch of guests who've talked about doing similar things, not thinking twice about it. But when you really break it down, what are you doing? You're watching something, you're being inspired by it, you're writing a story in your head in real time, you're performing, you're doing stunts. So this is really, I can tell this is the beginning of something, whether you knew it or not at the time.
Oh, I definitely didn't know it at the time, but I think about it often back now. And realized, I loved playing a role. I loved making up a story, playing out a story in real time in that way.
And what about being a student? How were your grades? Were you a good student when you were in elementary school?
Not at all.
You weren't a good student in elementary school.
I grasped a lot of the lessons very easily. So I think it was partly that I was slightly gifted. True point of fact, yeah. Like I was in the gifted program. I tested into it. I just got bored of most classwork because I guess it was like that where I'm like, I know this already. Why do I have to write down these answers over and over of something I could easily figure out?
And then you did badly.
So because of that, like teachers would be like, well, he's not doing his schoolwork, and so. Yeah, I'd get lower
So
grades.
You were, okay, I need to unpack you. First you said you were not a good student, and then you said you were gifted, and then you said you were, despite being gifted, you didn't apply yourself. Or I'm trying to unwrap this and unpack this.
That's fair. Look at me bragging, like, I was gifted, so much so that I didn't need to do anything.
And then I felt that so much, so you're like the tortoise or whatever, or the hare who runs, is all confident, and then you fail the test because you didn't. I don't know.
I mean that's certainly the case. Yeah.
So you really didn't get good grades
the test, actually, I know I did well mostly, and it was just like the homework.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That makes me remember. My mom never forgets this story of her in second grade every day asking why I'm not doing any homework. It seems like I come home and then within half an hour I'm outside playing.
Yeah.
And I would say, oh yeah, I'm done with homework. And so for 2 or 3 weeks, she just thought, okay, I guess that's the case. He's just done with homework. And I guess so he tested into this gifted program at school. And then my teacher called home a few weeks later and asked, why isn't Tony doing his homework? Or at least he's not turning in his homework. And my mom was like, what's going on? Then she goes into my room and is looking around, and she opens my closet and finds just a stack of papers and books unfinished, not even touched, in my closet because I would just throw my homework into my closet and then run back outside and play.
Were you a rebellious kid? Were you being rebellious, or is this you didn't care, or what?
I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't care. It wasn't an act of rebellion. It definitely wasn't like I'm gonna cause some trouble. But it was definitely more just like, I don't want to do this. I don't care about this. I want to go play and have fun.
Yeah. Well, how did your parents react to this?
Oh, totally. Totally fairly and logically, in that they got angry. Told me I definitely had to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like they made sure I came home, sat at the kitchen table, and didn't leave for hours until they themselves saw finished homework.
And this is how it was moving forward.
For the most part, yeah.
So you got it together.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So as you went through school from, through elementary school, middle school, high school,
yeah,
you did okay in school.
I did okay. Yeah, I did enough where I wasn't failing or getting held back or anything, but it was definitely not the A's that I could have been achieving.
Were you gifted? Were you part of any gifted or honors or whatever classes as you went through middle school and high school?
In middle school and high school, I would be put in the honors classes or even the AP classes. But I would still like somehow but like I just ended up not doing obviously as well as I should have, getting the grades that I should have. But yeah, I still understood and grasped most of the lessons and the concepts.
I got you.
Yeah.
What else did you enjoy doing for fun in middle school and high school? And what was like your social life? Were you into sports and did the performing continuing get more in a more organized manner?
The performing, yeah, definitely.
Were you a band geek?
I was a band geek.
You were?
I was a straight up band geek.
I was just saying anything I could think of. Like, I'm like, what do people do in high school? And then I was naming anything. So what? Oh, you played saxophone.
I started with saxophone. Actually, the saxophone started in 3rd grade. But then when I reached middle school and joined the band class, I saw the percussion instruments, and that's when I decided, I'm done with this. I'm done with this woodwind life. I'm playing drums.
Woodwind life is over.
Yeah. Woodwind life is over.
Cool. Cool.
Reeds are.
So you played drums from middle school up
until 11th grade.
Up until 11th grade.
Yeah, in band, in marching, like in concert class and marching class. Yeah.
And what about any other kind of music stuff outside of there? Did you?
After 11th grade, I left band class and the orchestra. I would play drum set still for another couple of years, and then started getting into bass guitar also. But then, overall, after college especially, I kind of just lost touch with music. Yeah, playing music anyway.
Did you do any performing as far as acting or any stuff like that in middle school, high school?
Not at all, actually.
Nothing at all?
Yeah. I think that was scary for me. I remember sometime in like elementary school, I would think about like the roles that I would see on TV, specifically like James Bond. I remember thinking like, ooh, James Bond, that'd be so cool if I was a secret agent. And how would I do that scene that I'm watching right now? No, too scary. I can't do that.
It's
I can't
too
do that.
Scary for you to be James Bond?
Yeah.
And you mean to do the performance, or to what aspect is scares you?
I think part of it was like the performance aspect of it, the attention that it would draw of like, oh, Tony Garbanzos playing this role. And like just generally, like I also knew that, my parents would not let me be an actor. And like they would think, he's just playing around again. He's make-believing things.
It's funny that the things that you're thinking about is the reasons why these are, what, not that the fact that it's going to be difficult for you to be James Bond, just your concern is like, my parents are not going to let me be James Bond, or, what was the other thing you said that, like the performance. You're like, I don't know if my performance as James Bond is going to be up to par, just in case they offer me the role, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
Right? Yeah.
Because that's how reality is going to play. Well, yeah, I mean, you never know, but
you never know. I mean, yeah, I guess my agents would send my parents job offers and contracts first.
Yeah,
that's what I probably thought in 4th grade.
So this was when you were really young.
When I was really young, I wrote it off pretty quickly and pretty early on. Of like, I guess I couldn't be an actor because of all these reasons, A, B, and C.
But it's funny that you just went through that process when you were in fourth grade,
Yeah.
like weighing the pros and cons of becoming an actor, seriously giving it consideration.
Truly, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But that, I think, was revisited later on.
Yeah. I reevaluated and came around.
Cool. So you were a band person. You weren't really into acting or sports or anything else like that, and
sports came around a little bit after band.
Yeah.
I left band in 11th grade and thought, well, I still want to do an extracurricular thing, and so then I tried out for football, and then got onto the JV team. Didn't make it to the first practice.
Yeah.
And then I got cut. I think they were like, oh, he's not good enough to be varsity, so we'll put him on JV. No. Remember how his tryouts actually were? No, he shouldn't be in JV at all either. Okay.
Oh man. Well, you tried.
Yeah, I tried.
That's like me playing lacrosse. I played lacrosse for 3 days, and I was like, nah, this is not for me.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting because then I turned to lacrosse and then I played that for the rest of high school.
Wow, that's funny.
How you weren't into the like throwing around sticks?
I think I never I played baseball.
Okay.
And I played hockey. And neither of those sports involve running. When you really think about it, baseball is running and then stopping, sprints and then stop, and hockey you're on skates.
True.
So I never really played soccer. I never got into basketball. I mean, I played basketball for fun here and there, but never hardcore in a league or anything like that. Yeah. Like 4 quarters of 40 minutes or whatever.
Of just nonstop cardio, yeah.
We're running back and forth. So I think part of that and wearing all that gear and not being good at it right away. I was okay for someone who never played it, but
yeah. I
don't want to take the time to get good at, it takes time to get good at something. I wasn't willing to take the time to get good. What were you going to say?
No, I mean, I think it's a hard learning curve. It's a hard, no one is going to be adept at lacrosse in one day. I feel like. There's that small
I gave it 3.
ball. Yeah, exactly. You gave it 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the proper amount. On the 4th day is when it really clicks.
Right.
Yeah. There's a ball flying around in the air, the size of your fist. And you have to catch it with a net that is shaped very specifically. It's not a wide net on your stick. Yeah, it's a hard. Yeah, truly, it is a hard sport.
It's funny because lacrosse is super popular in the Northeast. That's where I'm from originally. But was it popular down where you in San Diego?
Yeah, it kind of was.
I see gear around, but not it just isn't as popular here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't. Yeah. Yeah, so much if I see a kid walking around on the street with a lacrosse stick and their backpack, I'm like, oh, wait, there's a high school around here that has a lacrosse team in LA, in Southern California? Because it's so few and far between for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember in my high school that I feel like in the spring was it was track and field, baseball, and lacrosse. And I feel like it kind of the best athletes were probably split between those 3. It wasn't baseball was the number 1 or track and field at a lot of schools is the number 1 sport, but the 3 of those, I guess. Anyway, so where did we go from here? Did you what happens after high school?
After high school, I go to college.
Where do we go to college and what do we study?
The first college was San Jose State. I chose that because I thought that's the college experience. You have to go out of town and stay on campus. And San Jose State and San Diego State were the only schools that accepted me.
California State schools.
Oh, yes. California State University, San Jose or San Diego is the official name for those schools.
And how far is the campus from San Diego from where you grew up? I imagine it's pretty close.
For San
Diego.
San Diego State, it's 10 miles or something like that.
So that's not going away at all.
That's not going away. And I knew that for sure. I was like, oh, then I would be at home for sure. I'd be living at home. My friends would be around. A majority of my friend group in high school went to San Diego State. And that was, in a way, it was I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do. In my mind, I was like, oh, these are the things that everyone has to do. They have to go to school. They have to meet new people. They have to go outside of town, things like that.
That's kind of what I assumed and did as well.
Yeah. I felt like, I mean, yeah, that's just the kind of thing that, I think.
To have the college experience.
Yeah.
I didn't put up quotes, but I could have, I guess.
Well, now everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, that's what I did. I chose San Jose State. And for a major, I chose electrical engineering, because I was good at math. I mean, I didn't do the work, but like math came really easily to me. It's just a lot of logical steps and equations. So it all made sense to me. I was like, yeah, I guess this is a career that I should do because that's what I'm supposed to do. So I moved to San Jose. I became depressed because
how far into your
my school year?
Yeah, or years.
Oh, it was 1 year. It was.
You were there 1 year.
I was there 1 year.
So probably pretty soon you were like not happy. I'm guessing.
Very much so. Yeah. I couldn't comprehend it then, and I didn't understand like, oh, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? But like, a couple years later, I realized, oh no, I was depressed, and I just didn't know how to cope with it. I didn't really put myself out there, things like that, and so like it was kind of like partly isolation from. My friend group that's in San Diego.
Yeah, you were
most
far
people
away from home for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
For a long time.
Yeah, exactly like that. And like the first time I'm supposed to be responsible for myself. I can't lean on anyone like my family or my friends because I'm by myself, and so
you don't know anyone at this school.
Exactly.
I guess not. You're saying you don't.
Know like going into it for sure. I made some friends. During the year.
I meant just when you first got the first day, you didn't know anyone.
Definitely not. Yeah, truly. And so it was just like the first time. All of a sudden, I'm in charge of my life for the first time at age 18 in a town that is not what I'm used to, anything. Yeah. So it was a lot to deal with. And I think, I really couldn't match up to that. I didn't know how to deal with all of that. So the first year came and went. And then I realized, I'm not ready to be on my own. So I moved back down and went to Southwestern College, which was a community college near me. Which was like, less than a mile away from my house.
So you lived at home, and what was that like? Was it good to go back home? Was it an adjustment going back home? Was there anything you got used to? Did some part of you get used to the freedom at college and whatnot, and then come back home and have an adjustment?
Yeah,
at all?
Truly, yeah, very much. Because then I was back under my parents' roof, and so a year of freedom. Even though I maybe didn't utilize it as well as I could have, all of a sudden to be back. To where I was right before college, all of a sudden I'm like a teenager again in a way,
right?
In the same room that I lived in for years, same family dynamics. Maybe the school that I went to in the morning was just a different location, but I would come home to the same home. And so, it was definitely an adjustment again. There's a word that I'm trying to think of, but
it'll come in like 2 hours from now.
It'll come, on the right
drive home. Yeah.
Damn it. Yes. Oh God, I sounded like an
Record
idiot.
a clip of you saying that word, and I'll splice it. And it'll sound totally not smooth at all.
Yeah, you'll hear freeway traffic and like, it was remembrance or something like that.
I'll explain it in the intro or the outro, so it'll give people some explanation.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So you're telling me about living back at home and that life and where do we go from there?
There is that. So in Southwestern College, the community college I went to, that's when I discovered acting. Because then another year passed by of just like taking some classes, keeping to myself, still a little bit.
You weren't a electrical engineering major at the
community college.
It's because it's a 2-year school, the community school.
Pretty much.
And you were 1 year at San Jose.
Yeah.
So I'm counting the years. I got I got possibly 3 years of college here. I'm trying to see if we're going to piece together a degree out of this and what major we're going to get to. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
Oh, okay. Ooh, what a ride you'll be on.
Yeah.
It is longer than 2 years. It is longer than 3 years. Spoiler alert: there is no degree.
That's cool. I think I talked to someone. Did I talk to someone who went to a bunch of colleges, never got a degree? Maybe not. Bunch of different schools though. Anyway,
yeah.
Everyone's got a different story.
Everyone's got a different story, and yeah. I mean, well, we'll get to that part, I guess. Thoughts on college, but like, tune back in 20 minutes. Yeah. So in that second year, I realized, okay, I didn't. Maybe part of it why I don't like electrical engineering or school in general is because like a lot of these majors depend on you being academically, proficient, or like you have to have some sort of passion to do a lot of these scholastic things, and I guess that's just not for me. Well, if it's not something like that, like something that would end up being a BS or a Bachelor of Science. Maybe what's the other one? Bachelor of Arts. I was artistic at one point. And so from there, I thought, okay, well, I've done the band thing. I've done music. At least I know I would enjoy that enough. But let me try something new. So that's when I took my first acting class and then fell completely in love with it.
What do you remember from that acting class? What was the acting class?
It was theater. It was a theater acting for stage and screen. Was the class that I took.
And first it was just a basic class at your college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember anything from any scenes that you did? Any techniques that you even learned? Was it just the experience of getting out there? Or what do you recall?
It was the experience of getting out there and just like creating something again. Just you and your group, your classmates, just coming together and creating a story and playing it out. And that's what I loved about it. Again, it was just like, it's bringing me back to what I used to do as a kid, and I thoroughly loved it. Specifically, we made some weird thing. My teacher was pretty loose with expectations of just like, no, yeah, go create, go make your own short film, basically. And so we made something of like a division of police that had to hunt down some vampires. And so we, ran out to like the woods in town and just like ran around hopping off of branches and tree stumps and fake stunts and stuff like that.
This sounds very much like your childhood experience that you described that I said was significant at the time, and we're kind of coming back to that in some ways. Did you know at the time when you were taking this community college acting class that it gave you the feeling of being a kid again and being creative like that? Were you aware of that? Did you make that connection then? Or is that just something you're saying now that feeling reminds you of that? Or did you know then that it was like, oh, I feel like a kid again?
I didn't realize it then. Yeah, it really was later that it dawned on me that that's what was happening. Yeah.
Interesting. Were you good? Were you a good performer? Were you natural from the start?
I think a little bit. I was definitely comfortable with
Were you gifted?
Performing. I was so gifted.
Gifted performer?
Goodness. Yeah, compared to those other clowns
Great at everything you do.
No, not at all. The comfort was there. And I do know that. Like, that was some feedback I've heard early on and generally of like, he's one of the ones that definitely looks comfortable on stage or in front of the camera.
That will get you pretty far, I think. That's a big part of the battle, is it not? Just whether you're, being in theater, whether you're on television, film, stand-up comedian, just being comfortable in front of the camera or on the stage. I think that's probably a big part of it. No?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then from there, performing.
Yeah.
Being able to perform.
Yeah. Then there's the next part. Yeah. Of performing.
Part 2. Part 2.
Part 2 through 10.
Okay, so now we're in this acting class, and what happens from there?
From there, it was mostly scripted. Whether it's like making our own shorts or on camera or doing scenes from a play or doing an actual play eventually. then came the improv part of class. They introduced it in some of the acting classes, but then there was also an improv class in school. And that's where that was like the next big obstacle for me. I was like, oh wait, we have to come up with something on the spot. I've seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? I'm not Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of threw up a mental block there of just like I can't come up with anything. I don't know what to say out loud right now. I don't want to be judged just for the first thought in my head.
These are the thoughts that I have when I consider, taking an improv class just for fun, just to improve my social skills, just to improve my professional skills, just to meet, like just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
But my inner monologue says what you just said, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And like, I mean, no discredit to my teachers in college. They weren't making it sound like, oh no, you better say something funny in this improv class. But that was just what was going through my head. And so I, and they graded very, very kindly, and I think as they should in an improv class in a community college or in any college, of just like, okay, look, maybe he's not immediately embracing the improv aspect of this, but like he's showing effort.
Yeah, you're trying.
Yeah.
Is part of you or any other improv actors that you cross paths with or worked with, do you ever fear that you're going to reveal something from your subconscious or say something that's too personal or inappropriate? Does anything like ever like bizarre come out of someone's mouth that like it's like, really, where did that come from? Not even something that's like makes the person look bad, just like something way too personal or something that's strange.
The concern is there, I think, for myself, and I'm sure others would probably agree, at least. Early on, that was definitely my thought process. Also, like I can't, if I say something and people are going to wonder if that really happened in my life, and it might have, because that's probably why I said it in the first place so quickly. Oh my gosh.
It's all part of the deal, I guess.
But it's all part of the deal, truly. Yeah, I think now, like the way I'm at it with improv and all my friends who do it often enough, exactly that, of just like, yo, he might have said something, it's super hilarious, or it's super truthful and like we can relate. Maybe some people wonder, oh, I wonder, maybe it came from something.
Again, and I think those are the risks that you take as an artist and a creator, and especially someone working in real time, is that that could be funny stuff and gold there. There could also be embarrassment.
Truly, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, but then with that also, of like all of us being creatives and performers, there won't be any judgment. Yeah. Or at least, a good performer or artist won't cast any judgment on these things.
Yeah, that's for me in the audience to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're taking improv, we're taking some theater, we're doing film stuff. We're rolling now. Where do we go from here?
From here we go to LA. Yeah.
Really, you would take a couple of acting courses at community college, and you said, "All right, I'm going." I guess part of that, what made that decision maybe a little easier for you, I'm guessing, is that San Diego area is pretty close to LA.
Yeah.
So that must have been like, oh, at least I'm not going far, I'm guessing.
Yeah. That all played factors in my mind of like, I've been doing this when I made the decision, I was like, okay, I've done this for 2 years. And I feel ready. Oh, young Tony, you weren't. But yeah, in my mind, I was, okay, I'm ready. I've grown up a little bit. I'm ready to move away from home. I'm ready to be independent.
Yeah. So 2 years at the community school, and was your major theater? What did you say your major was?
It became film.
It became film at the school. Okay.
Yeah. Film production at Southwestern. Yeah.
So, but by after the third year or your third year of college, you're like, I'm ready to go to LA.
Yeah. And
what was everyone's reaction to that? What was your parents' reaction to that?
They shock and a little bit probably disappointment. Definitely a little bit of anger, upset. All the feelings. I think.
Those are all negative emotions.
Those are all negative emotions.
Except shock, but shock is negative.
It can be negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a neutral, I think, but like definitely a
surprise may have been.
Surprise
is the positive version of shock.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it also came coincidentally with at a time I had a girlfriend at the time. Still do. It's the same girlfriend. Spoiler. But like we had been in a relationship for a couple of years also. And we thought, she finished college around that time that I made the decision to move up. And we thought, okay, we have a good relationship. So the decision came around the same time that my girlfriend graduated college in LA. So she was in school in LA while I was in San Diego. So we actually had, for the most part, a long distance relationship. Even though it's like 200, less than 200 miles away from each other.
I got you.
But yeah, that the distance enough makes it a long distance relationship. But yeah, we had a strong relationship for up till then, being distant from each other. And so we thought, if I move up to LA and give this acting thing a go, that's probably where I was going to end up anyway. And then we can be in the same town and really have, a stronger relationship together that we can handle.
It helps to be in the same city.
Yeah. For a relationship, I think I would agree.
It can be beneficial. Not that the long distance thing can't work or can't be work for a period of time, but yeah.
True, yeah.
I suppose being the same.
Yeah,
location.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of that happened around the same time, those decisions. And that was also another reason why my parents weren't happy with the decision, because they thought, you just want to move in with your girlfriend.
Right.
And that's the only reason you want to do this.
It's funny because I think almost like if they knew you were crazy about acting but thought that was a bad idea, they could almost come at you like, you don't really love her that much. You just want to be in LA and act. Or like the reverse. Yeah, I don't know. There could have been a bunch of different reactions. We know what you're up to.
Yeah.
But you loved it all.
I loved it all.
You were into it all.
Yeah, I was into it all. And yeah, good on my parents for at least not expressing that. I don't think they, yeah, they thought it so deep inside. No, I don't think they did. I think they truly believed, and rightfully so, that like, oh yeah, I loved my girlfriend. I also loved acting. Obviously, I'm going to pursue both in Los Angeles, but both of those things are bad ideas to do.
Right. They knew
at that time,
they knew your passion was genuine for both your girlfriend and performing.
Yes.
But they also thought this particular decision to move to LA at this time was a little bit nuts.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Leaving school after 3 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Not finishing and
exactly.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you came here, and then what happened?
So I came here, and then so I came here, and started taking more improv.
And this was what year was this?
I moved here in 2011.
Okay.
I'm gonna fast forward from 2011 to 2015.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, just because those years I found a job, and then I just stuck with it. I just kept working and didn't really...
You got away from performing.
I got away from performing, yeah. I just didn't really pursue it that much, and less of oh, I don't want to perform anymore. It was more just like, oh, I'm comfortable at this job.
It's easy to slip into that routine.
Yeah, exactly.
And lose sight of what you probably moved to Los Angeles to do in the first place.
Truly, yeah.
Is what sounds like happened.
Yeah. I think that happens for a lot of people, and that definitely what happened
for sure
for me. And yeah, those were good years too. Also, nothing bad to say about those. But like for a performance, around 2015, I realized, oh yeah, this is what I came here to do, to act and perform. Let me take more improv classes from these improv training grounds that actually focus on it, not just college level classes. Because then maybe I'll actually understand improv, and maybe I'll stop being scared of it. And so I took improv classes at a couple different places, and then I took a class at UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade here in LA. and that's when I started really loving it. It gave me kind of like a specific way to understand improv, and it introduced me to so many different people.
What drove you to want to, because you're saying you weren't great at it initially, improv, but what drove, when you were getting back into it in, like, let's say 2015, what drove you specifically to improv versus like, oh, I'll take just a different acting class in LA, or, oh, I'll focus on sketch? Why improv? Is it just because you liked it, but you weren't great at it, but you wanted to be better? What was it about improv? That
was the primary reason for sure. The other big factor that I attribute to this is that I saw a group of improvisers that were mostly Asian, and that was kind of like their mission statement in a way of just like, oh, we're an Asian American troupe, doing improv and being kind of like the premier face of Asian American improv comedy, and that really struck a chord with me because it was something that they fully embraced. I never saw that before. My improv experience up until then was classes, Whose Line Is It Anyway? And maybe some other theaters or classes that were mostly white.
Yeah.
And not like they were excluding other races or cultures, or being purposefully offensive, but like it was just, they didn't necessarily embrace it. And so like,
sure,
part of me just didn't really feel accepted in a way,
Is that something you would have wanted and were, obviously you saw that it was missing. Was that something you would have wanted earlier in your life, in your community college or even whatever, to have more of an Asian American, aspect to what your creative
all these
work?
Things. Yeah, true. Absolutely. I mean, in my acting classes in theater in college, I had a couple friends who were Filipino, like me, and that's who I kind of like connected strongly to, and who I basically like attached myself to during those years, because otherwise, yeah, it was just non-Asian people, and like not that they were excluding me, but I just didn't feel as comfortable around.
What was the group that you saw at UCB initially that you were into?
The first group I saw was actually it was a show for House of Lies. It was a Showtime show with Kristen Bell, Don Cheadle, Ben Schwartz. And so I guess like to promote the show, Ben Schwartz, who's a big time improviser, and who does a lot at the UCB, he put together this one night only kind of show, with stars from the show House of Lies. So he had Kristen Bell there, he had Don Cheadle there, as well as a lot of like the guest stars or recurring stars on House of Lies that were also improvisers at UCB. So it was those three. Ben Schwartz, obviously a good improviser. And then Eugene Cordero, who is a working actor. He's doing a lot now, especially. But he had a guest star on that show, but he was also a very strong, very regular improviser at UCB. And so he was someone that like, that was the first show I saw. I thought, oh, Ben Schwartz is cool. He does Parks and Rec, very funny show. He's very funny on it. And he's doing this improv show at UCB, this big time theater. I want to go watch the show. And then at the show, I see, oh, this brown dude, Eugene Cordero. Oh man, he's killing it. He's so funny. To me, he was the funniest. He had the funniest characters, the funniest moves on the show. And he also happened to be Filipino. So from there, what I saw there was like, no, this is definitely what I want to do. And he's proving that it can be done by Filipino. And so I fell in love with it there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started to connect with the whole UCB world, and take. Did you go through the whole training, or
yeah,
you did the whole improv training?
I did it all.
How many classes? How many classes is that?
It's 4 years, or 4 years. Jesus, it is 4 classes. These classes at most are 8 weeks long. Nowhere near 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 classes, and then that's the whole curriculum, really. The whole core classes. Yeah.
So you've gone through the training, and now you do your show, do your show there.
Yeah.
So what happened? How did we go from just starting to get connected to UCB, going through the classes, to get to Miss Golightly? Where does that journey?
Yeah.
How does that journey play out?
Through the classes, and through just like the networking community there, I slowly got introduced to so many people, so many wonderful people. And I meet a couple members of Miss Golightly. They are at the time before I joined, they were formed for about a year of all Asian American male improvisers. And I thought in my mind that was huge, because that's not something I've seen, on any TV show, of course, but also even in the community, even on these stages here in Los Angeles, there was just no all Asian group, let alone all Asian American male group. And so that was super huge. And then like meeting them, most of the time when I met them, I didn't even realize they were in that team. I just was meeting Jed Alcantara, Vince Yap, Wei KU, just these performers. And I thought, I connected with them pretty quickly.
But you connected them with separately just through the UCB world, but didn't realize that they were all in this group together at this initially.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then like after some time, it was obvious to me, like, oh no, they are on this team, Miss Golightly. Oh, these are really cool guys. Wow, that'd be so cool to perform at that level. To me, they were like they were on a pedestal, and I was still below that, and I just would look up to them. And so, but like being friends with them, we're being acquainted with them. After a certain amount of time, they thought, oh, we think you're a really cool guy, and honestly, like, we connect with you, and we want to add you to the team.
Wow, that must have. So how long do you have to? I mean, did you know these guys until they invited you to become part of their team? How long did that take?
Not super long. I feel like it's only a matter of a couple months, really.
It didn't seem like it's something you were necessarily even pushing for. Did you express that you wanted to be part of their group in any way, or was it obvious? Do you think, was it understood?
It was probably obvious. I don't think I was putting off vibes necessarily, but
that's
like,
probably why they asked you to be part of it, because you didn't come on too strong.
Yeah, probably.
That's
yeah,
probably part of it.
Yeah, otherwise they're beating away fans with sticks. No, but yeah, I had met them all separately. The first person I met, Jed. From there to me joining the team was probably a little bit longer, but like after I met a few more people, it was probably within a month or two.
And at this point there were 6 or 7.
Yeah. We'll cut that long, I'm sure.
Something like it's not particularly important anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, they went through a little restructure themselves also. Like they had other members, and then I think 2 or 3 of them left before I joined. So yeah, some people left. I joined the team.
Cool. So what happened? So you're asked to be on the team.
Yeah. And
I assume you said yes right away.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me of whether or not I would do it.
And then what do you start rehearsing and because it was sketch and improv, you said.
Yeah. Well, mostly improv.
Mostly improv.
Yeah.
You don't have a sketch background, or do you?
I didn't have a sketch background up till then. And even then, for the team itself also, it was mostly improv.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We didn't really get into sketch until a lot later. But I joined the team, and then just like practicing with them and performing with them regularly. It was very regular, weekly, of either a practice or a show. Just over time, like it just felt really comfortable, and really supportive to be around other Asian American performers, improvisers, which are inherently nerdy people, consists of nerdy people, I feel like. And we, even with just like nerds, there's, so many people have different passions and can be nerdy about different things, but like we were very passionate about very similar things. And so like it was very easy to connect with them. And we just supported each other throughout the months that followed. I think so after a certain amount of time, we added another person into the team, and so that became kind of like the core to me. Like what Miss Golightly is now is the core team. Like this is the lineup that if people were to, when fans in the future look up the lineup of Miss Golightly, they'll be like, yeah, this is the all-star 96 team of the Chicago Bulls.
Is this the present roster? Is the present team as well?
Pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you remember? Do you remember anything about when was your first show with them? How long after you joined was your first show?
It was probably a month after I joined.
That's pretty quick, fairly quick turnaround, I suppose.
I think, yeah.
What do you remember from that?
It was kind of a blur.
All kind of a blur.
It was all kind of a blur.
Was it a positive experience, a negative experience, or just a learning experience?
Positive and learning, yeah. I think then I was still like slightly nervous. I was just like, oh my gosh, now you're up here with the boys. You can't mess up, dude. You got to show them that they added you onto this team for a reason. You got to show them that they like you for a reason. So I truly don't remember any aspect of that show other than it was at the clubhouse. It was very fun. I know I was nervous, and so I remember the concept of just like, maybe I wasn't as on it as I should be.
Yeah.
But overall, very fun and very good.
I'm guessing you got better and better with each passing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Meet up and show and whatnot.
Yeah. Like what I often tell people is that like with improv shows, it's hard to guarantee a good show. With improv shows, you truly don't know like, what the energy is, what might come out in scene, stuff like that. But with with Miss Golightly, I feel very confident saying we're good.
It's funny and interesting that you say that, you never know how an improv show is going to turn out. So I'm thinking about, how do you practice? How do you rehearse? Because you don't know it's improv, so you're not going to be doing what you're rehearsing. Is it more just gaining more and more comfort with yourselves and each other? That's what rehearsing improv is? Is it just about gaining comfort with yourselves and each other? Is that
Truly.
it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think the most important part for improvisers, if anyone's looking for improv pointers, is like for sure be comfortable with yourself, for sure, because then you'll trust the things that you're doing. You'll trust that like they won't be dumb, or maybe they'll be dumb, but like you won't look like an idiot because you're not judging yourself, and people will read that. If you feel nervous or that you're judging yourself or you're scared of yourself or things that might come out, very obvious on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing it with the team, as you grow comfortable with yourself, you'll grow comfortable with them, and likewise for them to themselves and back to you. That's really what's being practiced and being refined over time.
And you've been with this team for how long did you say?
Now 2 years.
2 years.
Over 2 years, yeah.
And these guys are they your best friends?
Yeah, definitely.
They're all your best.
All of them, 100%, absolutely.
They're all your best friends. So this is your group. So there's not like, okay, 5 of you are my best friends, but the other 2, I got 2 other best friends from outside of my life who are ahead of you, and that's basically your crew.
This is my crew,
these guys.
Yeah. Just like over the 2 years, we've done shows, obviously tons in LA, but like, then we did some shows. We've done some shows outside of LA, and like those trips, just traveling with each other, being around each other for whole weekends at a time. It can, I feel like, make or break relationships. Yeah.
Of any kind,
truly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was nothing but positive. And like we respected each other's spaces enough as well. Cause like, for any relationship, sometimes you do need some time away from each other. You can't spend 24/7, 365 with one person or, with a group of people nonstop. I feel like, sometimes you just need to be alone with your own energy, with your own thoughts, just to process and maybe, just like get re-energized.
And everyone in the group understands this and gets this. It seems like you guys are a pretty mature group of dudes.
Yeah, truly. Like on one trip specifically, we went to New York for the Del Close Marathon, and like, yeah, what a trip. We spent most of the time together, and then like it was very easy for one person to be like, hey, I'm just gonna spend a few hours by myself on Sunday, and we're like, yeah, no problem, totally. There was like no judgments, no, like not even like bits that, a lot of comedy bits sometimes, it's like at the expense of one person, but like it's all in the name of fun. But like even then, there was no like, oh, Jed over here is gonna be a loser by himself. Like, no, none of that.
Yeah,
none of that. It was truly just like trust and understanding of just like, do your thing, man.
It really sounds like you have a special group there. You got trust. You got people who give each other space. You have people who are mature, people who encourage each other, people who support each other, people who are fun to be around, people you have things in common with. It sounds awesome, because I was going to ask more questions like, how else do these people, can you tell me specific examples of how they've inspired you or helped you or influenced you? But it sounds like you've kind of just explained it all that, and like how important they are and how, important part of your life that this group of guys is.
Yeah, I have no qualms about expressing my love for them. I truly love my boys here.
Why? Go on.
Oh, I mean, because like, I've had groups of friends before. I've had groups of primarily male, or just even just like certain circles of friends have been all male. But like with this group, because we're performers and because we're all passionate about our own nerdy things, and like also like, I think at the same time, just my mind maturing to understand my own emotions and how to process things better and more maturely. It kind of all just coalesced into like right now, like of this time period that I'm still going through, like of just like understanding that this group of friends can support each other, and I can support them and be vulnerable with them. We've been very vulnerable with each other, being very honest with each other and open about our own feelings for not just improv or like movies or things that we enjoy, but like just our own feelings and how our days are going.
Yeah, look at you guys. You guys are just so like not new agey, not progressive. That's not the word. You're just fucking smart, good dudes who are on top of what's important. It sounds like, for sure.
Truly, I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. You know what I was going to ask you? If you could kind of maybe say the name of each person in your group.
Yeah.
And then maybe give me a quick couple of adjectives about them.
Sure.
Or a quick anecdote about something that jumps out at you about their personality or something that they did for you or inspired you. Just there's something about them.
Yeah.
That's kind of a general thing, but yeah, go for it. Go run down the list and tell me about the crew.
Okay. I mean, yeah, absolutely. This is easy. Okay. So I'll go in order of when I met them. So Jed Alcantara, first person I met. That's currently on the team. Let me revise that. So first person I met, Will Choi. Very driven, insanely creative, for the comedy space that we're all in right now. Truly a pillar in the community, and just very caring. Jed Alcantara. Ladies and gentlemen, I swear, but if we were all to make it big, he's gonna be the hit that no one sees coming. I feel like he's a special person. Love him to death, just like everyone else. Vince Yap, he's the oldest in the group. He's also like the most mature. When we do bits, we call him Papa Vince because he's always the level-headed one, very calm, very patient. Everyone in the community calls him Zen. Because just from looking at him on the street or even on stage, he's the one that could stand still and seem the most calm and like, but still engaged. Everyone else, we're all a bunch of children, a bunch of dummies on stage.
In comparison.
Yeah,
I got you.
Also in in real life, which leads to Wake AU, truly a clown. Truly a clown. But yeah, what a wild bundle of energy, and very passionate. Terry Wong is so smart. Also one of the older ones, but yeah, very smart, very patient, with a little dark side. Oh man, when you bust that out, what a wild person. But yeah, very, very smart, patient person. Gio Lee came after me. What a fun energy. He's a dancer, so his the way he carries himself is very stable. And so that, I think that helps him be more charismatic when you see him on stage. It's very easy to focus in on him because he just knows how his body is and how to stand and center his energy. But also, oh, what a dummy. He's got he's sometimes he's the most immature of us all, man. He is also one of the older ones, but yeah. He laughs at like juvenile things.
Me too. Sometimes.
Yeah. And then that's for the most part, that's been the team for the most part. And then recently, Will Choi, as of this recording, he's not on the team actively. He's off focusing on his own career and his exploits, and no hard feelings at all. You know, it's all been a very amicable, very understanding thing. Still our friend, still a great friend.
You wouldn't have mentioned him if he wasn't important.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Truly. And so it also just happened to work at the exact same time that we decided to add another person, Eric Chad Ho. He's only been with us for a little bit, but like the older people, he is very patient, very calm in real life and on stage. But he's probably the most supportive, at least on stage, you know, and only really knowing him to see him this often in such a short amount of time. I can only say that, yeah, on stage, he's the one that's like really pushing us in scenes to really make things happen. And that was an energy that we felt like, oh, that adds so much, because that's something that generally the rest of us on stage don't necessarily do. It's something so different, but it brings so much to our shows, for the better. And so, yeah, what a fresh energy that we have.
Interesting. So did we get them all?
That's all of them. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you? How do you describe yourself in those terms, in similar terms that you described everyone else? What do you bring?
Oh my gosh.
What
a question.
I thought, what's up?
What a question.
I thought of this as you were, I thought, moments ago.
No, wow. Good on you, man. What a good host.
Look at this.
To be so inquisitive.
Look at that.
Look at me stalling for time. If I'm gonna look at my friends, my boys with positivity, then I have to turn that in on myself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that the question could also be, what would they say?
Yeah,
about you.
It feels weird, and this is something I get, just on a personal matter, I'm still working through, of like just like being confident with myself and saying positive things about myself. Because like my first thought whenever it comes to me is just like, I don't want to sound braggy, or I don't want to like showboat,
Sure.
And like that's a thought that precedes any possible thing that I could think of positively about myself.
We're going to work on this.
Yeah, gotta work on that. I gotta work on that.
We're going to work on this.
All right. Enough stalling. From the guys would say, and what they have said before, is that I am very caring. I might be one of the most caring, I guess.
Look at you.
Some of them have said I'm the heart of the team.
Look at that.
I truly do care. I think, yeah, I care a lot, and want everyone to just be happy. I truly wish nothing but the best for everyone. And, I just want everyone to feel the same happiness and joy that we have when we're performing with each other. And what I had, that's something I've definitely, helped bring to the team and to the shows, is what I've heard.
No, that's awesome, man. That's really cool to hear. And you didn't. I'm sure other people on the team bring some elements of those things as well, but that's not how you described really any of them. So I'm getting the sense that is really sort of your, unique gifts that you bring to, the table and to your team. Beyond, your talent and your performing ability as well, and your ideas and all of these things as well. Yeah. But the intangible things is, that's what you bring. Awesome. That's exciting. And I'm going to look up, actually when I go see you guys, I'm going to have an idea in my head. I'll listen back to this before and I'll memorize and remember who's who. And I'll see if your descriptions match up with the performances. Yeah. I'll get a couple more quick questions and I'll let you get out of here. What is the sort of, do you have long-term dreams or goals or plans for either yourself or for this group? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years? What is the ideal, professional success in your mind? Yeah,
the ideal future for us, for myself, and I'm sure most, if not all of them, are still working on comedy, whether it's being on a comedy show, possibly being a movie star, a comedic movie star, and like people's wishes and change, people's dreams change. Maybe some of us might stop acting or performing, or at least, acting professionally in the industry. So whatever pursuits everyone has, I hope it makes them happy. But I think that the real true ideal is that we still do comedy together. Yeah. I think we can and we will, and we're doing it so far. But like, I feel like, 5, 10, 15 years, we're still together or doing shows, maybe not as consistent, still just churning out really great comedy.
That's great. It sounds like, the goal is to, all you guys probably have your own individual goals, but at the same time, you'd love to work together on a bigger scale, on bigger projects, whether it's movies, whether it's TV, whether it's sketch shows, whether it's on stage, whatever it is, just keep doing comedy, keep making some money, and keep working together and just keep going.
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to put it out there. UCB, if you still exist 5, 10, 15 years from now, Miss Golightly is going to be one of your mainstays, and it's going to be one of your biggest draws.
Look at that. Telling it how it is. Nostradamus over there.
I see it.
No, but you believe it. I believe it too. I'm not gonna doubt you, my friend. All right, so why don't you just tell me how to find you on social media, how to follow Miss Golightly, and anything else you want to plug, and we'll go from there.
Oh, wow. My social media, my handle on all social media is Tony Beans, but they're spelled like body parts. TOEKNEE Beans. Instagram, Twitter. Miss Golightly. We also have social media handles. Miss Golightly Improv. Only on Instagram, actually. We don't have a Twitter, I don't think. I don't know. I'll say both options. Yes. No Twitter. For you to edit it.
They'll find you. We good.
Yeah. We have a regular show, Tuesdays, for free. It's a free show at UCB's Inner Sanctum Cafe, on Sunset and Western. Come out at 8:30. We host an improv show. There's 3 other teams usually with us. Every week is different teams.
But your team is one of them.
Yeah, we are the one consistent team. because we're the hosts. So you'll see us every week.
Wow, every week, huh?
Yeah.
That makes that. I'm going to be there soon.
Yeah.
I promise, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Oh, we'd love to see you, dude.
Cool, man. I think I'll let you go. I think we got everything we need here. Did we not? Anything else you want to say? I think we did it.
I think we did it, yeah.
I appreciate your time, man, again.
Thank you so much.
You got to talk soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it. My conversation with Tony Garbanzos. I like Tony, but to be forthright, I've never went snowboarding or watched the Power Rangers. But maybe I'll start doing these things now. Who knows? Anyway, for everything about this show, of course, head to peoplewelovepodcast.com. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks as always, and let's talk soon. Peace.